Julian sends more shots at Mal.
But like, I didn't realize how exhausting it was talking to people or pretending to even give it what the people think that are like so diehard and like refuse, like the blind ignorance, refuse to see any imperfections with the artists that they love. And I hope those people aren't like that in real life, because that's not healthy. It's really weird, especially when you have like a platform to speak and people listen to you religiously, especially when you have like other people around you or like work with the same company, write for the same publication, or like in this literally in the same room as you, telling you otherwise and giving you like facts and opinions that directly counter everything you're saying and make sense. But you're so overly like enthralled with everything that the guy you love does that you can't even fathom questioning any move they make or doubting anything that they've ever done. It's like, dude, why do I even want to? I can't even talk to you. Nothing I say is going to cut through to you. So I'm done, because you're a idiot, and if you want to believe everything you say is true, good for you, buddy. Hold on to that. You got that. You're a big boy. You're just a big little man.
Yeah, that's right. On his last YouTube live, Julian went at Mal, and he basically called him a big little man. And he was, this was pretty much spot on about Mal. He doesn't say his name, but he was talking about people who ride for an artist. Everything they do is fine. And, they are super biased, even though there's people in the room, providing evidence and whatnot. And I just, we all knew that at the core of Julian leaving the Rory and Mal podcast was Julian's tension with Mal. I think Julian thinks Mal is a moron. I think he believes Mal is a lazy sack of you-know-what, very similar to what Joe Budden said about Mal. And he doesn't really believe in, what Mal does for the show. And I also have to zoom out, kind of look at this from a bigger picture. I'm sure Julian saw the deal that Rory and Mal just did with the volume. And I'm sure, now I'm starting to think, hey man, Julian probably knew about the deal, knew what was coming, and was like, man, this dude Mal did absolutely nothing, and he's about to walk right into a bigger deal. Let me ask for a raise so I can see my value. And they said, you know what? Your value isn't a damn thing. And it got a little bit ugly. Now, another thing we have to talk about is Mal, who also is taking his shots at Julian at the other end of the dial. Now, for those of you that don't know, Eden was a member of the pod. He was someone who was like the producer or like the sound editor, whatnot, recorder. And he had an event on Valentine's Day that he posted on Instagram. And you know who reposted that? Mal. So now, considering that Eden was the person who punched Julian when they were out at a shindig, at an event, basically keying, it says a lot that Mal is co-signing him. And boy, I tell you, it's getting ugly. I was just on Spaces the other day and Rory said, hey man, the reason we decided to fire Julian had nothing to do with money. So what could it have been? Basically, Rory is hinting that maybe Julian was unprofessional. Maybe he wasn't doing his job. What do you think in the comments? Let me know why you believe Rory is saying that they fired Julian and it had absolutely nothing to do with any type of funds. Rory and Mal keep saying that, hey man, we're expanding. We got a lot of money. We doing this. We just signed with the volume. We didn't get rid of Julian over any type of cuts and whatnot. Something we got to talk about. And I would assume a lot of people do agree with what Julian said in terms of Mal. But there's also some folks who are kind of noticing how Julian's drop in numbers might be making him feel some type of way, right? He first started with 78,000. views. Then he went to 16. Then he went to 5. Then he went to 6. And it seems like that is going to be an uphill battle for him to actually be able to sustain and grow as a content creator in terms of viewership. Now, I think he can figure it out, but it's just going to be something that he's going to have to be really invested in, something that he's going to have to eat, sleep, live, breathe, eat content. He's going to have to be on YouTube, looking at his analytics, looking at everything else that's working for everyone else, reacting to things that people care about. Meanwhile, he had a situation with Rory and Mal that he could have maintained the status quo and likely make a lot more money. Now, Rory's talking about, I don't really care about Julian's podcast. I don't even watch that no more. I was going to try to support, but nah, he played himself. He didn't say he played himself, but that's kind of how he sounds. But let me know what you think. 2025 still continues to show us there's no friends in the industry, especially the industry of podcasting. With that said, follow me on Instagram, The Stop TV. Follow me on Twitter, The Stop TV. This is Danny from The Stop. Peace.